Welcome to the Sapphic Rising, where we embody our creative muse, our wild authenticity, and share in a little bit of rebelliousness. Hey there, it's Virginia James, and it is so good to be back at the microphone. Now, you'll notice that between this episode and the last one, there's a gap in time. So I want to explain that a little bit from a perspective of creative reboots. And also, if you're new here, I welcome you so much. I appreciate you deeply. And let me just explain what this is all about. First of all, again, Virginia James, that's who I am. I am the CEO and founder of Feminine Sage Wisdom. And it started on paper in 2019. And then we all know the COVID pandemic hit in 2020, which is ironically literally the month that things really took off with the pandemic is literally when I went online. So my business in particular, it hasn't been around long in terms of 50 or 100-year celebrations, but it's really been a roller coaster ride, we'll say, of how to do this work when life happens, when things shift, when the unknown is in front of you. So it's been an interesting journey, to say the least. Now, what this podcast was originally under was called the Zone of Purpose podcast. And it actually more or less stemmed from one of my first programs, my baby, we'll say, when I really started to go online, build the online presence, and do particular work with women who were essentially looking for their purpose, right? Things have shifted over the years, and that's okay. And I think it's okay when we have those moments of deep clarity, even the what the fuck do I do now factor. That's fine. That is actually the process of evolving, the process of looking at where we are truly fulfilled, what deeply fulfills us. And even though I could talk about Zone of Purpose, stories and journeying and what that process looks like, for days and months and years on end. Over the winter, I did some digging. I kind of did some digging about the business in general. I also, I'll be very honest with you, I'm here based in the United States, and things have shifted significantly under the leadership, frankly, that we have. Leadership in air quotes. I'll just say that plainly. Business has shifted, and I don't think I'm the only one. I know that there's other business owners out there going, oh my God, how do we get through this? How do we work through what is happening in our geography and also show up in our authenticity? So over the winter, I was doing a lot of digging. I was doing a lot of soul searching. I was really trying to, admittedly, see where my purpose could be tweaked. How I can show up differently in the way that works for me and those who I truly want to champion and uphold. Let's fast forward. And now here at my desk, I'll admit it, I actually had another podcast going in between the rebrand, I guess, of the last one ending in 2024 with season 2. And now this one. I tried it under a different name and I did a couple episodes. And it felt all right. It felt all right. But I think, my spirit guides and the cosmos and just my soul in general was like, let's go a little bit further. And me being me, I am very much of the mind and the heart and the soul of saying, okay, well, let's figure this out. So I've taken a little bit of time to sit back and go, what does this look like? What can I truly, deeply not shut up about? And that is a few different things, which we'll keep talking about here on the show. But primarily, I identify as an LGBTQ plus woman, sapphic, lesbian, and I am here on my own journey that has taken many years to discover. All right? And I don't have to go into that deep right now, but the point is, when I see sapphic women or folks living in their authenticity, that is one of the things that just makes me say, okay, this world's going to work out. We can do this. We can handle this. Okay. When I can champion them and support them and have conversations with them, that there's no other I don't mean high, but I can't think of a better language, so let's just use that. There's no better high than being in that moment, sharing story, showing up together, and inspiring the listener, or, in the case of me in my books, like the reader. So these are just little tidbits. And so I did want to share that, that process of deepening this work. That's what it really is deepening the work. And I deeply appreciate you for listening and for being patient when you're like, well, where'd Virginia go? Where's the stories? Where are the things? And so as we continue to do this very critical work of living and being who we are in the ways that we can, it's not always safe. So let's just put that out there too. It's not always safe. So no judgment if you're in a space, literally a geography, that you cannot be out and or be out and proud or out and loud or however you do it. Okay. I'm here for you to do that in time. But until that point, we're going to hang together here. So that is why this podcast is now the reboot, the retake, the whatever, act 2 or 3. It is the Sapphic Rising. That's what this is about. I want to rise with you. I want you to rise with me. And I want our Sapphic siblings to rise together and continue to exist. Let's continue to exist because we do. We do. We already do. So let's do it in our creative ways. Let's bring our creativity out in the world because I fucking believe creativity can change this world. I do. I believe it in my bones. And I want to see how that goes in the future as things unfold. And we're going to do this together. Okay? All right. Let's just call it there. This is essentially the first episode of this reboot. Let's really make this reboot proud. Let's make it loud, although I'm an introvert. Let's make this what it needs to be. Beautiful, real, storytelling, all the things. All right. I will talk to you soon and have a beautiful, beautiful day wherever you're at in the world. And I'll be back.